Oh, a tough decision on their hands now. And this hurt to get wrong.
Money talks, you just popping off at the mouth. And from the topic, then the conversation heated. Right trim, getting booked up in every city. Splash out with cash at the...
We've seen Dallas represented once already. Could another Cowboy be joining the fold? Boy, you talk about a talented player. This guy's one of the best around.
We set the roof on fire. We set the roof on fire. We set the roof on fire.
And this team does have a lot of needs, but this guy is a legitimate star, and he'll make everyone around him better.
The roof on fire. We set the roof on fire. We set the roof.
Still some big holes remaining to be filled. Here's where you may have to go after a lower-rated player just to make sure you get coverage in all. Definitely some options with this pick. Do you take a skill player here or get yourself some help up front? Where to now? Do you get yourself a big brute for the trenches or someone who can really help you out at a playmaker type spot? These middle rounds are where your decisions can really impact your team, because if you pass on certain positions, there's no guarantee you're going to see. Some tough choices coming up right about now. Do you go after the best available player or do you go after a position of need? Still a few holes on this roster and not a lot of time. Oh, no question that this guy's going to grade out as a huge impact over what was there before.
Fire. We set the roof on fire. We set the roof on fire.
Well, the position choice is set in stone. Now, how do they go about making this selection? And this is a big piece of the puzzle right here. Maybe a no-brainer, but a great pick regardless. Yeah, I don't think you needed a crystal ball to see that pick coming. That's all about loyalty and familiarity right there. These are tough decisions here. Offense or defense? Which side has the more pressing need? And I think that pick comes to the surprise of nobody. You had to figure they leaned that way if a player from that team became available.
Poor boys, daddies, girls, children of the cornfield, trying to turn a shift job into a dollar bill. We wear the muddy boots, stay true to how we're raised. Ain't nothing about us fake. You know we're straight out of that dirty south, dirty roads. Nobody got no money, got them signed up pickup trucks, whistling at them from the country. Yes, sir. You know we're straight out of that long week, working now. Everybody wanna party all night long, bonfire.
Boy, we've just gotten started here, and already these guys have been handed a real excellent selection. Just what this team needs to maybe get them over the hump.
Just a bunch of...
Oh, I tell you, you're not going to get too far in this competition without a superstar or two. And this guy right here certainly fits that billing. And there's a pick that does fill a hole, but I'm not sure that it's really going to be the one that improves the overall squad a tremendous amount. In these middle rounds, you have to start asking yourself, do you settle for what's available now, or do you try and push your luck? Tough call here. Do you try and get tougher up front, or get yourself a player in what we call a skill position? So with a handful of starters already nailed down, you have to ask yourself, do you dare go for depth, or do you just try to cover? Boy, a tough choice here, but one that any organization would love to have. How do you go wrong with these three guys? Where to now? Do you get yourself a big brute for the trenches, or someone who can really help you out at the playmaking types? And with time running short, you've got to hope some guys fall into your lap, or you could be left with some real holes on your own. Whoever's making the final decision here might have a coordinator in each year. Do you go offense or defense? A bit of a dilemma with this threesome. Which side of the ball do you turn your focus to here? And now is where you need to make these last picks count. Time to fill any holes you can before it's too late. Boy, it's finger crossing time now. With the end in sight and a few more holes to fill, you've got to be hoping that there's still a gem or two that becomes available. The Raiders may not be coming off the best season, but they do. Well, not too tough to see into the thought process of that pick. so important to find players you can really commit to in these first few rounds. You'd hate to have to readdress these same positions later on. Yeah, not too much analysis needed here. This is quite a get at this stage of the draft. Boy, you talk about a friendly turn to the cards. This is a great round for these guys as they get themselves a dynamic player right here. Yeah, here's a spot where the fan base would be clamoring for a skill player. But do you listen to him or go after someone who could help you up front? Still some big holes remaining to be filled. Here's where you may have to go after a lower-rated player just to make sure you get coverage in all areas. One Philadelphia Eagle is... Oh, no need to worry about this guy. Just plug him right into the starting role, and he'll be a massive upgrade. Instant impact right there. That's a big leap forward from what they had on the roster to begin with. This is a pretty telling pick here. Do you go for a big bruiser up front or get yourself someone who could be a difference maker at a skill position? Now it's getting to the time of the draft where you really want to get lucky and hope somebody falls into your lap. Options here on both sides of the football. It's pretty much of a coin flip if you ask me. Both offensive and defensive options here. They might have to ask themselves which side of the ball needs more attention. Boy, it's finger-crossing time now. With the end in sight and a few more holes to fill, one thing this team's going to need is some leaders, and they've got one right here. Still a few holes on this roster, and not a lot of time left to do anything.
Put away your inhibitions. Let the beast in you just get loose. We all young, wild, and different. We can all get lit from a little. I know you're terrified by what the future lies, but there's no compromising. It's
still a long way to go in this draft, but if you can lock up a few key positions here in the first few picks, it's a great luxury to have.
Give up what your friends think. Tell they bougie. Go wait in line with them lame. Talking real rap. Tell them break your neck. Go and bust a rhyme.
Yeah, no surprise here. Anytime you can get your hands on a player of his caliber, I think you pretty well have to pull the trigger. Oh, did they get themselves a player here or what?
Never come down. I never come down. Lose it.
What to do here? Build up the interior of your line or get that skill player to add another weapon? These middle rounds are where your decisions can really impact. Oh, no need to worry about this guy. Just plug him right into a starting role, and he'll be a massive upgrade.
I might lose it.
One Seahawk's been taken already. Could there be two words here? Difference maker. That's what that pick right there is.
Handcuffs, police inspections, lawyers, judges, allegations. Turn on your favorite station. You hear the same old song.
Definitely some options with this pick. Do you take a skill player here or get yourself some help up front? And with time running short, you've got to hope some guys fall into your lap, or you could be left with some real holes on your roster. And now is where you need to make these last picks count. Time to fill any holes you can before it's too late.
What with me now? We running wild.
And now, which side of the football will they address here? Some interesting options either way.
I never come down.
It's the age-old question on draft day. What's the bigger need, offense or defense? Boy, it's finger-crossing time now. With the end in sight and a few more holes to fill, you've got to be hoping that there's still a gem. Now it's getting to the time of the draft where the skills just leap out at you with this guy. He will be a very important part of this ball club.